All right, we are going to, you know what, let's start standing. I just couldn't decide for a second. Feet are going to go about hips distance apart. You don't need your sliders just yet, but have them somewhere nearby. Press your heels down into the mat or into the ground. Press into your big toes. Spread some weight into the outside edges of the feet. And then take a big roll of the shoulders, lifting up, back, and down, reaching the crown of the head up. We'll take 4 deep breaths from there, inhaling through the nose to fill the body up with air, expanding through the rib cage from side to side and front to back. And then exhale out, let all of that air go. For 2, inhale. And exhale, although I feel like I said 4 and then just skipped right to 2. So let's do an extra breath for good measure. Inhale. And then exhale, let it go. This will be our last one because I can't count. Inhale. And exhale, let it go. Good. With your last exhale, let's walk the feet out wider than the hips. All 10 toes point forward. Reach your arms so they go out to T. Inhale as you twist the upper body over towards the right and then hinge into your hips, reaching the left hand towards the outside of the right foot. Inhale and then exhale, bring yourself all the way back up and we'll twist over towards the left, hinging and reaching that right hand to the outside of the left foot. Exhale, take it all the way up through center. We'll do that 3 more times each side. Over to the right, we hinge and reach. You'll come back up, de-rotate, and then twist to the left, hinge and reach. Alyssa, you made it. We'll go for 2, hinge and reach. And then 2 over to the left. And then 1 more over to the right. And then over to the left. Good. We'll come all the way up through center. Inhale as you hinge at your hips, finding a flat back. We'll take the left hand down to the mat, reaching the right arm up, fingertips to the ceiling. Think about pressing up and away from the ground. Inhale as you come back through center, flat back, and then exhale, we take that right hand down, reaching up through the left fingertips. And Sam, I don't know if I think you've taken live class before, but not in a while. I'm mirroring you. So if that throws you, just do what I say and not as I do. 1 more each side, left hand down, right arm reaches up, fingertips to the ceiling. We'll come back through center and then we go right hand down, left arm reaches up. Good. When you're ready, take things right back through center. Both hands are down on the ground. You can walk the feet in a little bit closer so they're more like hips distance. Inhale as you bend the knees, lower into a nice deep squat. And then exhale, press into the heels, press the hips back up, 2 straight legs. For 3 like that, we bend and then lift. For 2, lower and lift. 1 more, you'll lower. And then press the hips up, 2 straight legs, pause right there. Pressing into your heels, drawing in from the belly button, start to roll your spine all the way up to stand. Shoulders will come on top of the hips, crown of the head lifts up. And then once you come up to standing, we'll stay right here, relaxing the shoulders up, back, and down. If you have a slider, you're going to grab onto it. And we'll start with our slider underneath our right foot. Oh, these sliders are going to test me today. Left foot is down on the ground. We tuck the tailbone just a little bit. Hands can come up towards the chest. Elbows are out wide. We're going to inhale as we go down and back into that left leg, sliding the right leg away from us. And then exhale as we press into that left heel. You come back up to stand. It's an inhale, you lower. And then exhale, lift. It's the same thing without a slider. You just step out. And then bring it up. Range of motion will be a little bit different, and that is perfectly okay. The goal with this class is to move slowly. And if you've ever done reformer Pilates before, you know you have to keep it slow and keep it controlled. If you haven't, that's what we're going for. Slow and controlled. With every exercise, you can think about working in a 3 or 4 count pace. Good. For 3, we'll lower. And then lift. For 2, lower. And then lift. 1 more, lower. When you get to the bottom, pause right there. Keep your left leg where it is. We'll pull the right leg in, push it back out, and then press into your left heel, come all the way back up to stand. We'll keep moving like that. We go down into that left leg, right side pulls in, right leg pushes out. You press into your heel, come all the way up to stand. Down, pull in, press out, and then all the way up. Good. And your hands can go wherever it makes the most sense for you. I started us right here, but I always transition to hands at the hips. I just can't help myself. Good. And then as we're going down and back into that left leg, think about pushing the hips back as you bend into the knee and just slide that right leg away from you. Pull in, press out, and then right back up. Good. In and out, and then press up. Good. On this one, when you come down, you'll hold it right there. Stay low in the left leg. Just pull the right leg in and push it back out. Just for 4 in and out, for 3 and out, for 2. 1 more. Press out, hold it right there, reach the arms so they go up overhead. For 5, we pull the right leg in, push it back out. For 4, in and out. For 3, for 2, 1 more, press it out, and then press into the left heel, bring yourself all the way up to stand. And we'll just switch that right over to the other side. Right foot down, left foot has the slider. Reset, pressing down into that right heel. And you start with the left leg pushing out just a little bit, so it's easier to slide it out as we go down. Start your hands wherever it's most comfortable. Inhale as you go down and back into that right side, bending the knee, sending the hips back, and then exhale, press into the heel, come back up to stand. Inhale, lower, and then exhale, lift. Good. And even without the slider, this can be a really tiny movement. Focus on pushing the hips back. And if you can kind of slide the toes across the ground that you're working on, just kind of slide them out. Doesn't have to be a big movement. You can keep the toes connected, and that'll help to make this a smoother movement instead of like a choppy up and down. Good. I've only lost my slider once so far, so that feels pretty good to me. On this one, we'll go down and you'll hold it right there. We start to add on, pulling the left leg in, pressing the left leg out, and then pressing into your heel, you come all the way up to stand. Good. We'll go down. We pull that left side in. We push it back out and then press into the heel all the way up to stand. Good. We go down, pull in, press out. Yes. And then up to stand. Now, when we move through that left leg, your right leg is staying completely still. In and out, and then press into the heel, back up to stand. It's 3 more like this. We go down, pull in, press out, and then press into your heel all the way up to stand. For 2, we take it down. We pull in, push out, and then all the way up. Good. Last one, we go down, you stay down. For 5, we take that left leg, you pull it in, and then push it back out. For 4, in and out. For 3, for 2. Good. And then 1 more. Perfect. Push out, hold it right there. Reach the arms that go up overhead. Again, for 5, we pull the left leg in and then push it out. For 4. For 3, 2, and then 1 more. Left leg pushes out, you press into the right heel, bring yourself all the way up to stand. Good. Take your slider, just put it off to the side, and then make your way towards whatever you want to be the back edge of your mat. Feet about hips distance apart. You inhale as you bend the knees, circle the arms up and around. Exhale as you nod chin to chest, round forward through the spine and upper back. Hands come down to the mat. You will walk yourself out to plank. Shoulders over wrists. You're actively pressing up and away from the mat. Slight tuck of the tailbone. Inhale there, and then exhale. Start to lift the hips, walk the hands back into the feet. Anchoring the heels down slowly, we roll all the way back up to stand. Shoulders on top of hips, crown of the head lifts up. 3 more like that. Bend the knees, circle the arms. Exhale as you dive down towards the mat. Hands come down, walk out to plank. Shoulders over wrists, slight tuck of the tailbone. You're pressing up and away. Inhale. Exhale, let it go, and then start to lift the hips. Walk your hands in towards your feet. And you can do the same exact thing coming into more of a modified plank with the knees down. That's perfectly okay with me. For 2, we take it nice and slow. Inhale, circle the arms up and around. Exhale as you dive down towards the mat. Hands come down. We'll walk it out to plank. Shoulders over wrists. You're right around the toes or on the knees, holding that modified plank. You hold for an inhale. And then exhale, let it go. And then start to lift your hips, walk your hands back into your feet, anchoring the heels down. Slowly you roll all the way back up to stand. Shoulders on top of hips, crown of the head lifts up. It's 1 more. We circle the arms up and around. Nod chin to chest, dive down towards the mat. Hands come down, we walk out to plank. Shoulders over wrists, inhale. Exhale, let it go. Hold it right here. If your knees aren't down, drop your knees down, untuck your toes, hips go back to the heels. You'll find a child's pose. Good. Inhale. Exhale. You're going to let it go. Good. And then when you're ready from right here, we are going to roll things over so that you're laying down onto your back. We'll do a little bit of hamstring work to start to get into the back body. So you're coming all the way down. You have 2 sliders or no sliders. You're going to bring the feet about hips distance apart. If you have sliders, your heels are on the sliders. Toes are a little bit lifted. So think about digging your heels down into the ground, closing the rib cage, hands down by your sides. Take an inhale and then exhale. You start to tuck the tailbone, peel the spine off of the mat, lifting the hips up to bridge. Inhale at the top, wherever that is for you, and then exhale as you lower all the way back down. Inhale at the bottom, exhale as you tuck the tailbone, lift the hips, coming up to bridge. Inhale, and then exhale all the way back down. Good. If you feel like you can do a little bit more as you lift the hips, maybe you want to reach the arms up and back overhead, fingertips to the wall behind you. Inhale and then exhale. Everything can come right back down. Good. All that's going to do is take away a point of contact with the mat. So we're taking away the connection from the back of the arms to the fingertips. Puts a little bit more pressure into the shoulders. And we can kind of feel if we shift over into one side, like I feel myself shifting more into my right shoulder than into my left. So I focus on trying to keep that pretty even, which is not an easy thing to do. Good. The next time you lift your hips, you'll pause there at the top. If your arms are reaching up overhead, just bring them down. So you're pressing the back of the arm into the mat. Take your right leg, slide or step the right leg away from you. And then exhale as you pull that right leg back in. Same thing on the left, keeping the hips lifted. The left leg slides or steps away. It's the same movement without a slider. And then you come right back in. For 4 each side, we go right leg out and then in and left leg out. And then back in. For 3, right side goes out. And then back in. And then 3, the left side goes out. And then back in. It's 2. Good. And if you need to lower your hips, you lower your hips. 2 on the left. Last one. And then once that left side comes in, you just lower the hips all the way back down to the mat. You take a second right there. If your hamstrings are feeling particularly tight right now, you may feel like some kind of way about that. That might have felt like a little bit much, but we're just going to keep on moving because isn't it fun? Arms back down by your sides, relax the shoulders up, back and down, tuck the tailbone, lifting the hips up to bridge. You pause right here, okay? We're keeping the left leg stable. You're taking your right leg. You're gonna slide that right leg out. Pause right there. Can you keep pressing into your left heel as you lift that right leg up? It'll come up above your hip. You lower the right leg back down. Now here's the tricky part, finding your slider. You bend your knee and you pull back in. And if you can't find the slider, it's okay. I couldn't either. We keep moving like that, sliding the right leg out, keeping the hips lifted. The right foot disconnects from the slider as it lifts up. You're pointing the right toes to the ceiling. You lower the right leg down. Maybe you find the slider, maybe you don't. And then you bend your knee, you pull that right side back in. For 2, right side goes out. We lift the right leg up, stabilizing on the left. We lower back down. And then you bend that right knee, pull back in. One more. If you need to lower your hips all the way down to the mat, do that. Lift. Good. Good. And lower. And then bend the knee, pull all the way back in. Once that right side comes in, lower your hips all the way down through center. Take a moment. We'll reset and do that same thing on the other side. So you can exhale, tuck the tailbone, lift the hips so they come up into a bridge, pressing the backs of the shoulders down into the mat. We stabilize on the right side. Take your left leg. Left leg slides out. Pause there, keeping the left leg long. It's a big exhale as you lift the left leg up above the hip, pointing the toes to the ceiling. We lower the left leg down with control. Maybe you find the slider, maybe you don't, and then you bend the knee, pull right back in. It's 3 more there. Left leg slides out. Left leg lifts up. It lowers down. And then you bend the knee, pull right back in for 2. Couple of options. You can lower your hips all the way down. That's where I'm at because I'm tired. Like I cannot do another bridge today. Last one, we slide the left leg out. We exhale, lift that left leg above the hip, pointing the toes. We lower the left leg down and then bend that left knee, pull the left foot back in to meet the right. Lower your hips all the way back down to the mat. Take a moment there. If you need to shift anything around, you're going to shift it around. Okay, one last thing we do with the bridging, you still have your sliders underneath your feet. You're going to relax the shoulders up, back, and down. Inhale, and then exhale, you peel the spine up, you lift up into your bridge. Once you get there, right leg goes out, you pull it in. Left leg goes out, you pull it in, and then we'll lower the hips all the way back down. Okay, so we lift, press out, and in, out, and in, and then lower all the way back down. Now for me, I lose my sliders like this a lot. I think it's just, it's a me thing. But if you feel like your sliders aren't cooperating or you don't have sliders, you're doing this same exact thing without lifting up into that bridge. You can reach the right leg out. Maybe you tap the heel or tap the toes and then go on the left and then lower your hips all the way down. This will be our last one. You'll lift up into your bridge. You'll go right side out and then in and left side out and then back in and pause right there. Keep the hips lifted. Just pause and breathe. We're all going to wait for a second so we can all get there. Retuck the tailbone so the hips and the bottom of your rib cage are on the same line as each other. Okay, press into your left heel. Lift the right leg so it goes all the way up above the hip, pointing the toes to the ceiling. Okay, pause right there. If you need to lower the hips a little bit, you'll lower the hips. Flex through your right foot. Inhale as you lower the right leg down just so that your knees are in line with each other. And then point your toe. Big exhale, you lift back up. Flex your foot, lower the leg, point the toe, and lift. For 2, flex and lower, point and lift. One more, flex and lower, point and lift. Bend your right knee, right foot comes down, and then just shift your weight over into that right side, keeping the hips lifted, retucking the tailbone. Left leg lifts up above the hip. You pause right there, get your bearings. Good. Flex your foot. Inhale to lower your left leg down so the knees are in line with each other. Then point your toe, big exhale, lift up. Flex your foot and lower. Point your toe and lift for 2. Flex and lower. Point and lift. One more. Flex and lower. Point and lift. Bend into your left knee, left foot comes down. You lower your hips all the way down to the mat, and then take your feet off of the mat, hug your knees into your chest. Just give yourself a little rock from side to side. Take a breath. Ugh. Gosh, I need to go to bed. Okay. We'll keep using our sliders right here. We're going to stay down on the back for just a little bit longer. So if your sliders slid off to a faraway land, go ahead and find them. We can keep the sliders underneath the heels, but we're really only going to be moving our right leg. So I want you to extend your right leg out and then take your hands so they come behind your head, opening the elbows out towards the sides of the room, supporting your head in your hands. Exhale as you curl up, chin to chest, looking forward towards the center of that left leg. We'll take our right leg. I already lost my slider. You just pull that right leg in. No, slider doesn't want to do it. And then you push right back out. You'll bend the knee, pull that right leg in, and then inhale as you push it back out. Good. Just for 3, pull in and then reach out. For 2, in and out. Last one, pull in. Good. Reach out, hold it right there. Lift the right leg, maybe 4 inches off of the mat. And then you're going to pull that right knee in as you twist left armpit to the knee. Inhale, you'll untwist the upper body and extend the right leg out. We exhale, pull the opposite knee towards the elbow, and then inhale, everything goes out. We're staying as stable as we can through that left leg. There's really no movement there. Good. Just for 3, in. Good. And then extend out for 2 and out. And then last one, in. Good. Reaching the right leg out. You can lower it all the way down to the mat and then lower down through head, neck, and shoulders. Take a moment. Bend the right knee, right foot goes back down. We'll do that same thing on the left. So when you are ready, we exhale to tuck chin to chest, peel up through head, neck, and shoulders, looking forward towards the center of the legs, and then slide that left leg out. Okay. Holding here in this upper body crunch. All we do is pull that left leg in and then push it right back out. Pull it in and then push it back out. For 3, left leg comes in and it goes back out. For 2, we're staying lifted, supporting our head in our hands. Last one, left side pulls in, and then it reaches back out. You pause there. Lift the left leg up, maybe 4 or 5 inches. Exhale to pull that left knee towards you, reaching right armpit across the body towards the left knee. And then inhale, we untwist the upper body as we extend that left leg out. Exhale, you'll crunch out and across. And then everything goes back. It's 3 more there. Exhale. For 2. And then 1 more. Good. And then you can bend the knee, lower the foot down, lower head, neck, and shoulders down. Take a second right there. Reach your legs so they go all the way out in front of you. Open your feet up about hips distance apart. Reach your arms above your shoulders, fingertips to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale as you press your hands down. Tuck your chin to your chest. Keep your feet flexed. Roll yourself all the way up. Continue that round in your spine as you reach forward, reaching over the toes, pulling the belly button back. Good. Inhale there. And then exhale, you keep that curve in your spine. You start to roll yourself all the way down to the mat. You knew I was going to sneak the roll-ups in. Shoulders and head down, arms reach back. Inhale. Exhale again. We lift. You press your hands down. You tuck your chin to your chest, keeping the feet flexed, keeping the backs of the heels heavy. We continue that round forward as we nod chin to chest, dive forward towards the feet. Good. Inhale and then exhale. We pull the belly button back. We continue to round the spine. Shoulders and head down, arms reach all the way up and back overhead, fingertips long. It's 2 more like that. Lift the arms, press your hands down, tuck your chin to your chest, keep the feet flexed, almost like you're trying to pull your toes back with your hands as you come up, and then continue to round forward. Good. We come all the way back down, nice and slow. Shoulders and head down, arms reach up and back overhead. Inhale. This will be our last one. We exhale, lift the arms, press the hands down, tuck chin to chest, lift all the way up through the spine, articulating up inch by inch, piece by piece. Continue that round forward, reaching the fingertips over the toes. Good. Rebuild your spine so that you sit up tall, and then we'll swing things around so that you can lay face down onto your mat. It does not have to be a beautiful transition. We're just going to end up here. Legs are reaching back behind you, about hips distance apart. The sliders are underneath your hands, or if you don't have sliders, just reach your arms so they go out in front of you. Whew. Relax the shoulders down and back. Try to tuck the tailbone, pressing front of the hips and pubic bone into your mat. Inhale, start to lift your chest and lift your head. As you do that, your arms will naturally just pull in a little bit closer to you. If you don't have your sliders, maybe you can just slide your hands across the floor, or just lift your chest, lift your head, press the hands down. All options are good options, so you do what you can do. For 3 more like that, we lift the chest, lift the head, relax the shoulders down and back. And then exhale all the way back down. For 2, we lift. And lower. 1 more, we lift. And then lower. Good. With your last one, you take the arms so they go back out in front of you. Keep your left hand on the slider. Lift the right hand off. So the right hand's maybe about 1 inch away from your mat. This time you'll start to lift your chest and lift your head. And as you do that, you're going to sweep that right arm out and around by your side, reaching right fingertips back towards the hip. Right arm comes back in, and then we lower down the chest and lower the head. Reach that left arm out. For 3 more, we lift the chest, lift the head, sweep that right arm out and around. And then everything comes right back down. For 2, lift. One more. And then same thing on the other side. Your right hand will find your slider, left hand comes off. We relax the shoulders up, back, and down. Hover that left hand away from the mat. Lift your chest, lift your head as you reach that left arm around, reaching the hand towards the hip. And then take everything back down. For 3 like that. You lift the chest, lift the head, sweep that left arm out. Good. And then right back down. Good. For 2, lift the chest, lift the head, sweep the left arm out and around. Good. Hand reaching towards the hip. Perfect. And then everything comes back in. 1 more, we lift. Good. And then once everything comes back in, you can move your hands underneath your shoulders, elbows point back towards the feet, bring the legs together, press yourself all the way up, and then reach your hips back towards your heels and find a child's pose, opening your knees up as wide as is comfortable, pressing your chest down towards the mat. Good. Inhale there. And then exhale, let it go. I feel like I've yawned like 100 times in the last 30 minutes. Might be. When you're ready, pull things forward. You'll find a tabletop position, wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Press up and away from your mat. Tuck your toes under. Big exhale as you lift the knees off of your mat. Inhale. Another big exhale. Press the hips up and back. Press your heels down towards the mat. Inhale there. And then let's exhale. Pedal out the feet, pushing one heel down, bending the opposite knee, lifting that opposite heel, and then pushing the heel down, bending the opposite knee. And we'll switch and switch. Let's do 3 more. Switch and switch for 2. 1 more. Good. And then lift up through both heels. You'll press your heels down towards the mat and then start to walk your hands in towards your feet. Once your hands get towards your feet, you'll press into your heels, start to rebuild your spine, bring yourself all the way back up to stand. Perfect. And then once you get back up to stand, we're going to stay right here. We come back around to our sliders, taking one slider so that it goes underneath the right foot. Left foot will be down on the ground. We'll start with the heels together, toes apart. Hands can come to your hips or whatever makes the most sense for you. Soft bend into your knees. Okay, we'll inhale as we push that slider out. You'll bend into your knees. And then as you stand up, you press into your heels, you pull that slider back in. Good. We go out. You'll lower. As you stand up, you press into the heels, use the strength of the inner thighs to pull right back in. Keep it slow, keep it controlled. We all want to kind of jerk our body over this way to get the leg up and get that slider in. Don't jerk that way. Keep it really controlled. That's always the key. Good. And when you come up, see if you can keep your shoulders stacked right on top of your hips instead of tilting a little bit towards the left. Doing those little things and those little tweaks is what's going to help us to connect a little bit better into our core. It's what helps us to make pretty much every exercise a core exercise, whether we initially think it is or not. We'll go out, lower, and lift. Let's do 3 more. Press out with straight legs, lower down to squat, press into the heels, come all the way up. I said 3, right? We'll go for 2. 1 more, slide out, lower, press into the heels, lift up, pause right here. Put a little bend into your left knee, take that right leg, you're going to slide it away from you, kind of reaching out. If you were standing in a box, reaching out towards that top corner of the box and then pulling back in, sliding out and then pulling in. Same thing without a slider, right? You'll just kind of tap out and then pull back in. And instead of thinking about this being a leg exercise, can you think about this movement starting from the center of your body? So inhale, we reach away, exhale, we pull back in. And you're letting that leg pull back in by contracting your abs. Inhale out, exhale in for 4, out and in for 3, for 2, 1 more. Good. Press that right leg out, hold it right there. Stay pretty stable through the left leg. You'll exhale as you lift that right leg off of the slider, and then you bring it right back down. It'll be a lift. It's forward and a little bit to the side, just a touch to the side. We lift and lower. Lift and lower just for 4, lift. For 3, 2, oh my gosh. And then 1 more. Right foot finds your slider, take the left toes, point them forward, and then I'm going to scoot this way a little bit. Okay, slider is out. You're going to go down and back into that left leg as you reach the right leg out, reach the arms out, and then we'll circle the arms and circle the leg. Everything is going to pull back in and you'll come up to stand. And if that didn't make sense, just watch this next one. Everything goes out. We circle the leg, circle the arm, and then come up to stand. Arms. We go down, circle, and then back in. Everything goes out. Everything circles, and we come up to stand. Good. For 4. I'll turn this way. For 3. Whoop, as I lose the slider. For 2. 1 more. Good. Once you come up to stand, we switch the slider over to the other side. I feel like these, as we've gone on and on with these classes, my sliders have cooperated less and less. Okay, your toes are turned out a little bit, heels are in. We have that slider underneath the left foot. Tuck the tailbone just a little so the shoulders are stacked right on top of the hips. We inhale to push the left leg out. You'll bend into the knees and then big exhale, press into your heels, pull that slider in so your heels connect. We inhale, push away, bend into the knees, and then big exhale, pull back in. And really, we should be able to do an inhale, slide out, continue the inhale to lower, and then exhale back in. Let's see if that works. Inhale. Nah, we really need an extra breath. Inhale out. Maybe an exhale, lower, inhale, pause, exhale, stand. Let's try that. Good. Out. And then lower. Press into the heels, come up to stand, really focusing on utilizing the strength of our inner thighs to bring us up. We don't think about the inner thigh really being that connected into our core, but it is. It is. And of course, when I say core, I'm not just talking about your 6-pack abs, it's your whole trunk. Everything that isn't your arms or your legs, the inner thighs help us to connect into that. For 3, out, lower, and lift. For 2, out, lower, and lift. 1 more, slide out. We'll lower. We lift and you pause right here. Little bend into that right knee, retuck the tailbone. Inhale as you slide that left leg away from you. Exhale as you pull it back in. Inhale out. And then exhale in. Same kind of thing we talked about on the first side. You're inhaling to reach out, right? We exhale, we use the strength of our core to move the leg. Now, is it just your core that's moving the leg? No, but if we think about initiating here, we will automatically get a little bit more core engagement, which is what we want. Inhale out, and then exhale in. Good. Inhale out, exhale in. For 4, reach out. Pull in. For 3. For 2. 1 more. And then push that left leg out, hold it right there. So your leg is forward, but a little bit out. We keep that soft bend into the right knee. It's a big exhale. You lift the left leg off of the slider and then you lower it right back down. It'll be a tiny movement, and I'm having a harder time on this side than I did on the first. And lower, lift, and lower. Good. And you'll start to feel as you lift and lower that you want to shift forward and back to be able to accommodate that movement. Try to keep everything still. And if that means it's a tiny lift and a tiny lower, that's okay. Just for 4, lift. For 3, 2, and last one. Left foot finds your slider. You can take your hands so they come up by your shoulders. Turn the right toes forward. You'll inhale as you go down and back into your right leg, arms reach up, and then big exhale. We circle the left leg back. We circle the arms, come all the way up to stand. Inhale, we take it down, arms reach up, left leg reaches out. Exhale, everything circles up and in. Inhale out. Exhale out and around. Inhale, everything goes out. Exhale, everything comes in. Let's do 4. for 3, 2, and then 1 more. Good. Everything comes up. You can take your slider, just kick it off to the side, and then do a little march through your legs. Just take a second there. Okay, and then when you're ready, you'll make your way again towards the back edge of your mat, wherever you want that to be. Feet about hips distance, press down into your heels, relax the shoulders up, back, and down. Inhale to bend the knees, circle the arms up and around. Exhale as you dive down towards the mat, tucking chin to chest, rounding through the upper back. Hands come down, walk yourself out to plank. Shoulders over wrists, strong tuck of the toes. Inhale, exhale, let it go. And then inhale, drop to the knees, untuck your toes, press hips to heels, find your child's pose, opening your knees up as wide as is comfortable. Inhale there. Exhale, let it go. Good, and then when you're ready, we're gonna wrap up with some teasers. We don't even have to worry about the sliders, so just toss the sliders off to the side. You don't need them. We are going to progress through our teasers, so we are going to start all the way down on the mat. Knees are in a tabletop position, either directly above the hips or pulled in a little bit closer. Arms reach above the shoulders, fingertips to the ceiling. For 4, we're going to circle the arms out and around, lift up to teaser. Okay, I'll do it with you. Inhale here. Exhale, we start to circle the arms out and around. As the hands pull in towards the hips, we lift up through head, neck, and shoulders, extending the legs out, lifting up to teaser. Good. Inhale and then exhale. You can lower all the way back down. We do 3 more like that. Exhale. For 2. And lower. 1 more. Good. And then lower. Good. Pause right here. Now, can you extend the legs out and go up to teaser from here? If you do one and you're like, no way, can I do that again? That's okay. We exhale, circle the arms out and around. Tuck chin to chest, lift yourself up. You have to lower the legs down just a little bit to lift. And then come all the way back down, keeping the legs at that 45 for 3. Woo! We don't practice this enough or ever. I always have you guys go into the full teaser or we start in tabletop. That's 2. And then we lower and then 1 more. And then all the way back down, take a second and pause right here. Okay, if you like one of those 2 options, you get to stay right there. If you just want to do a full teaser, we're going to do it. We won't even, we don't need another progression between this. Extend the legs out so they're nice and long. You can point the toes. You can bring the heels together, toes apart. You can reach your arms all the way back overhead. Inhale here. Exhale as you circle the arms out and around. As the hands come towards the hips, we start to lift the chest, lift the head, lift the legs. We come up to teaser. And then we lower all the way back down. Yes, beautiful. And then everything comes back down. So your heels and your head lower at the same time. This is going to be 3. Big exhale. Woo, and then lower back down. For 2. I feel like we haven't done teasers in a little bit. And then lower. Although we kind of did do them. Whatever. This will be our last one. We exhale, lift. Good. And then lower all the way back down. Perfect. Once you come all the way back down, you can take your hands so they come down by your sides. Let's bend the knees, feet about hips distance apart. Keep your left foot where it is. Cross that right ankle so it goes over the top of the left knee. And then really gently just push that right knee away from you so your knees are more in line with each other. Inhale there. Exhale, let it go. And then let's take that left foot off of the mat. You can interlace your fingers behind the left leg, pulling this shape a little bit closer to you. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Good. And then we'll just switch it over to the other side, uncrossing the right ankle, right foot down, left ankle over the top of the knee. You could start by yawning and going to sleep, by pushing the knee away from you just a little bit so the knees are in line and the hips are a little bit more level. And then when you're ready, we can take that right foot off of the mat, interlacing the fingers behind the right leg, pulling the shape closer to us to release a little bit through the outside of the left hip. Good. When you're, oh my gosh, I cannot stop yawning. When you're ready to come out of this, we'll uncross that left ankle, walk your feet out wider than your hips, and just take your arms so they come into a low V. Inhale as you drop both of your knees over towards the left, letting the right hip lift, but keeping the back of the right shoulder pressing down into the mat. When you're ready, you can exhale, take the knees so they come up through center, and then inhale, drop both knees over towards the right, letting the left hip lift, but keeping the left shoulder pressing down into your mat. So we really think about getting a twist from the center of the spine down to the tailbone. Good. Exhale, knees can come up through center, and then we'll extend the legs so they go out in front of us. Flex your feet, reach your arms above your shoulders like your Frankenstein. Inhale. Exhale, press your hands down, tuck your chin to your chest, keep flexing the feet, bring yourself all the way up to seated, and then pull the belly button back on top of the hips, round forward through the upper back, reaching the crown of the head forward towards the feet. Good. Inhale there. Exhale as we rebuild the spine, take things all the way up to seated, shoulders on top of hips, and then bend the elbows, take your hands behind your head, interlacing the fingers together, supporting the weight of your head in your hands. Inhale as you twist over towards the left, and then exhale as you come through center. Inhale as you twist to the right, and then exhale, come through center. For 3, we twist left, and then twist right. And that twist is happening from the center of the body. So you're not just moving your arms, you're moving straight from your center. That's what starts the twist. Your arms and your head are just along for the ride. Good. This is 2 and 2. Last one. And then last one, twisting to the right. Good. We'll come back through center, release the fingertips so they reach towards the ceiling. Inhale with a flat back. Exhale as you hinge at the hips. You can reach your hands towards your feet, towards your shins, or towards the mat, whatever you can comfortably reach. Inhale there. Exhale, let it go. And then when you're ready, you can bring yourself all the way back up to seated, and we are all finished. Woohoo! Yeah, gosh, it is time for me to go to sleep. I cannot stop yawning.